Hello, and welcome back to Recursed with Brian, the Ice Palace. Last time we managed to solve a single puzzle. And then, as if that weren't bad enough, I tried to start recording the next puzzle today, and I accidentally hit the wrong button in OBS, and I started streaming it rather than recording it. The good news is I didn't really get anywhere. So let's take a look at this puzzle together. These are the only two rooms. So there's a fissure, an enchanted key, and a block that's hard to reach. And up here there's an enchanted block. So one of the things I have already realized that will be valuable is basically to start from up here if possible. I see, but I can't even get both of these objects up here because I kind of want to hop out at the end, because if I hop out with the key, if I were holding the key, I wouldn't be able to get up here. So I have a problem of climbing this ledge in addition to the rest of the puzzle, which I also have not yet been able to solve. So I'm just starting to think about that. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the puzzle. There's very little you can do here, because if you just jump down there now, there's no way to get out other than using the fissure, I guess. But I think we want to bring this block in order to try to get a block out. So you can't carry an object out through a fissure, because a fissure just gives you a coffee cup. However, I could use this coffee cup to get in here, and then in theory escape back out, except I can only jump up this high if I'm not holding any objects. And so if I try to hold an object and get up here, I can't do it. So yeah, basically we've kind of made no progress just with that. So how to get any object out of here is already a puzzle in and of itself. So one of the semi-obvious things to do is to bring the rock down, create a fissure, and bring that fissure, which binds up all of the room state, into this room. And then, for example, I can bring a rock into that fissure, and now we have 3 rocks in here. So that is good from the point of view of it allows us to bring something outside. The bad news is I think the place outside is not the top level. So we just end up back here. So it didn't really help me. So let's see. If I bind up this state and go back in here again and do the same kind of thing, I can also bring a rock into this fissure. And yeah, now I just have 2 rocks and I can get out and we're right back where we started. Yeah, so I'm really struggling with this. Not making any progress. One thing I haven't played around very much with is bringing a chest into the fissure, except for this is one where I already used up that rock, so that was definitely not a good thing to do. So let's go ahead and restart. So I can bring this in here, nothing is lost. I could bring the rock down, because I think that will be valuable in this fissure, but now I'm going to exit. Now I have a coffee cup with a rock on the bottom. Do I want to bring this into the room with the chest, or do I want to go the other way around? I'm not sure. However, right now if I exit here, I exit the chest. I can see that if I brought the coffee cup down and the rock down, I could bring the rock into the coffee cup, have 3 things, but then if I pop out of them, I'll just be popping out of the floor on this room where I set down the coffee cup. And that's not going to help me. So what I need to do is I need to eventually be able to pop out either of here or pop out of a coffee cup that is up here so that I'll be able to climb out to the top level in the future. So suppose I jump into here. We've already used the fissure is the problem, so I will be able to exit at the top level, but the problem is I can't carry an object, so we haven't made any progress. So here I'm up here, and I can exit to the top level. but we haven't made any progress. So, what if I grab a fissure? What if I grab another fissure and bring the fissure into the fissure? What does that do for me? I think not a lot. It does create the situation now where I can bring a rock forward into this fissure. And then if I stack all these things up, where am I going to pop out of at this point? I honestly don't remember. But this was starting out by bringing a fissure into a fissure. And it just brings me out at the base of this room, because that's where we brought the fissure, I guess. So this also did not work. So that was bringing a fissure into a fissure. Suppose, instead, we bring the chest into the fissure. If I bring the chest into the fissure, then I could bring a block into the chest. Okay, this is actually interesting, because this allows me to do something with physics that I haven't played around with yet. Which is, if I set the block down here, I think I may be able to throw the key up there, and that takes advantage of the key's enchantment, and the fact that the key will kind of like stay in the same place. So if I do this, yes, that is a new type of progress that I have not made before in this puzzle. So that means I can bring the key all the way up here. Okay, that is solid progress. Key's going to be up there in any copy of this room moving forward. And at this point, I think I just want to exit with the block, because that is progress I would like to hold on to. Yeah, and the key is enchanted. Ooh, this seems pretty good right now. So now if I hop in here, I can exit with another block. No, I can't exit with another block, can I? Can I? If I wanted to exit with another block, this will just exit with a fissure. That if I were to jump into with a block, could I exit with a block? No. So I don't think this has helped me. Let's exit with this fissure. So I have a coffee cup where I end up on the bottom floor and can just get out. So that doesn't seem too valuable of an object to me right now. But I also still have the chest. And it might be valuable to bring this into the chest. And then bring another block into that fissure. Let's try that. I've lost track of where we are in terms of stack frames and whatnot, but okay. This does seem like a place where I might be able to exit with something. There isn't a way for me to get back up there with another object, because there are no other objects. And there isn't a way for me to throw something back up there. Okay, so if I just exit out of here, where am I? I am here, and I don't even have a high enough way to get out there. That's not good. This is much better. But if I jump into this fissure with nothing, I'm stuck. If I jump in with a block, I can simply get out of it. If I jump in with a chest, then maybe I can make more things. Furthermore, I need to throw a block up here the same way I threw the key up here. Oops, I just jumped in, darn it. That's one thing I really hate about this game, is you can make an accidental, I didn't intend to jump into that thing. Yeah, and now I'm stuck. All right. So, I brought a chest into a fissure. So, let's bring a chest into a fissure. The advantage of doing this is that it enables me to put a block on the ledge here and move the key up. Okay, so that's something I know how to do. Chest into the fissure allows you to move the key upwards. Oops. Okay, so now, having had that insight, chest into the fissure moves the key upwards. Can I just exit to the top level from here doing nothing else? Let's try to do that next. Can I exit to the top level? I think the answer is yes, but I will lose the chest. Let's just verify that. Yes, that was my only copy of the chest. Okay, great. So, bringing a chest into the fissure does that, but I need more ways back. So what if I just had more fissures out here? So there's a fissure, or there's a jar. The fissure is the little green thing. The jar is the thing that happens when you exit through it. Let's make another one. So we have another one that we can go back into. And I think I even need a third one for reasons that are not yet clear in my mind. So let's make a third one. Okay. Now I want to bring a chest into one of the fissures. With the chest in the fissure, I can bring a block into it. I enter up here. This allows me to put a block on the platform. This is what enables me to rise the level of the key. Alright, so far so good. I can throw the key up here. And I could walk out with the block, but now I'm just inside the chest in the fissure. But that might be okay. But I really want to exit with the block as well. Is it possible for me to do that? Maybe kind of, sort of. From inside here, can I bring another block? I think maybe. Because what if I have that state there, bring this down. I can't throw a block all the way up here, right? Ah, maybe I can. Hold on. And which of the two blocks would I want it to be? It doesn't matter because they're both going to be wrong, isn't it? So even if I throw a block up here, which actually I don't think I can do. Yeah, okay, I can't do that. But let's do bind up a fissure with this state. This is not helping me, is it? I could bring a block into that fissure. No, this could help me. I could bring a block into that fissure by doing... Okay. Gotta be very careful where I place these things around so that I don't jump down into the wrong thing. Okay, so I'm gonna bring a block into this fissure. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. I think I probably do want the enchanted one up there. Yeah, now both of those are at the top level, and I can exit with a block. This is starting to look really good. Now the question is just, can I get out? The only thing I can do at this point, because I can't jump up this high, so the only thing I can do is go into the fissure, and that brings me back here. But I have a fresh copy of the room. Oh dear. If I go into the fissure, I'm going to be stuck. So I think I don't want to go in the fissure, so let's just take a peek. If I go into here... I could get a coffee cup of standing there. So that doesn't seem valuable to me right now. I just need a way out. This is just a way into a different state that I can't climb out of. And this appears to also be the same thing. And if I were to make a fissure of this room at the bottom right, then I'd come out here holding a coffee cup that still doesn't help me get out of this place. So I think I did some cool things, but I'm stuck. And I think possibly the wrong thing that I did was to raise the enchanted block up there, whereas I want to keep the enchanted block down here and bring a non-enchanted block up there and eventually carry it out. I think that's what I need to do. Can I still correct that? Possibly. What if... I bind up a fissure. So now there's an accessible block inside here. So I can bring the chest into here with the accessible block. And then get another accessible block. But how do I get the accessible block back out of the chest? Maybe by doing this? And then bringing one of the unenchanted blocks in? Actually, I'm not sure I need that. Can't I just use this to get another block? Yeah, I think I can just use this to get another block. Because, yeah, now I can do this. Okay, I'm starting to make a little bit of progress, I think. It's taken a while. Oh, but I need the enchanted block. Oh, this is so difficult. This is so difficult. Okay, so if I'm here, I can't lift this up. I don't have a block to put it on to throw it on. But I can kind of make that happen if I were to... Oh no. My brain! My brain is melting. I really need to come up with, once I do solve this puzzle, like a way to diagram these on paper so that I can reason about them better. Because it's just too much to keep inside of working memory. I mentioned in the original playthrough of this game that this game is a all-out assault on working memory, and it's often the case, like back out at the top level, like you need to climb up a little step at the end. It's often the case that there's one other thing that's an easy, trivial thing to do, perhaps, but you forget about it by the time you're deep in the puzzle. Yeah, this game, it's very clever. Okay, at this point I can either pop out, holding nothing, or I can go into a coffee cup that I'd still be able to get out of, so let's take the coffee cup. Oh, right, and this has fallen back down now. Right. Right, but I think I can bring that up. Okay. So if I go into here... This is ridiculous. I can get a block. I believe I can get another block out of this coffee cup. No. Can I get a block out of this coffee cup? If I bring a block into this coffee cup... then I could escape. If I bring the enchanted block... Oh, what if I bring the enchanted block into the coffee cup? No, then I'm down here. That's no good at all. Now I've just screwed up everything. Poop. I don't know where the chest is at this point. Does the chest still exist? The chest does still exist. It's here. So here's the entire copy of the room, which is a block maker. But it's only a block maker if you have a lot of blocks. What I need to do... I need to lift a fissure up there, don't I? Because if I could carry a fissure out to the top level that had the block... No, that's still not going to be right. Is it? This is so hard to reason about. And I feel like I'm just flailing about rather than making any tangible progress. Which is not a good feeling. Yeah, I'm not making tangible progress right now. So is there any way for me to get stuff out? Let's just see if I can get the key out to the top level at this point. So at this point, if I wanted to do that, I think I would need to... If I grab a coffee cup... and grab another coffee cup, and bring one into the other, then I could bring a block into this one, and now I have 3 blocks. But I don't have the enchanted block up here to try to lift the level of one of these things again. So this really hasn't helped me. And now I just popped out of the other coffee cup. And now I'm stuck. Darn it. Oh man. So, we managed to lift the key by getting the chest into the fissure. Let me try to do that again. So, chest into the fissure somehow enabled me to lift the key because... no, that's the wrong one. Because I could bring a block into the chest, leave it up on the top ledge, and then throw the key up. So if I take that action... Oops. The key is moved upwards. The key is now up here. And so now... What if I just try to exit to the top level with the key? That will be a type of progress that I still have not made. And it is possible, because this would exit to the top level, right? Yes, with the key. Okay, so that is great progress. Let's ignore the key and just try to get... I think a non-enchanted block out, because I think I have to have the enchanted block on the bottom of this to do most of the things. So, once again, in order to get started, we want to bring a chest into the fissure. Then, we want to bring a non-enchanted block into here to be used as a ledge. And now the problem is, I don't have 2 blocks to stand on to throw a thing up, and with 1 block to stand on, I can't throw this all the way up here. But I could always just bring the enchanted block up to the ledge as I jump down into the fissure, actually. So why can I not... Okay, why can I not just do this? Hold the phone. Tell me what the problem is with raising the key, and then, quote-unquote, raising this by bringing it forward down into the chest or the fissure. So, the key is up there. Which way do I want to exit? Do I want to go through the fissure? Or do I just want to exit? I think I just want to exit right now. And that'll also allow me to carry a block, which is a good thing. So now... I need 1 more block, which I can get by jumping in here. But I need to bring the block out. Can I do that by grabbing a fissure? No, now I'm just going to be trapped on the bottom unless I bring the chest in. Yeah, here we go. So I want to bring the chest into the fissure. And now all I need to do is exit this carrying a block, I think. And so I need one more block to do that, so I can jump in and get a block somehow. How do I get a block at this point? Okay, let's think about this. I can put this on the ledge now. Okay, maybe this is going to be the key. What if I leave this on the ledge and now bring a block into the fissure? Do I have 3 blocks down here now? I've only got 2 blocks down here, so this is still not enough. And now I'm trapped. No, I'm not trapped. I can still get out. That was kind of close. Kind of, maybe. Let's bring a block with me in case I needed to get out wherever I am. I do. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get the block out. I can only figure out how to get the key out. It's a conundrum. What if I bring... Okay, what if I bring... Okay, if I bring the fissure forward into here and then bring a rock into the fissure, is that equivalent to bringing the rock out? Yes. I think that's a very good thing. Ah, except for I needed this to be up there already. This can always come back, and these I need to jump, so nothing is really happening here. And I'm back in the chest? No, we lost the chest, didn't we? It would appear that we lost the chest. No, there's the chest. Okay. Oh, this is so hard to reason about. So, I'm in the chest. Now I'm going to pop out of the chest holding a fissure. What is it I want to do? I want to create rocks. How can I do that? I need to bring the chest into a fissure that already has a rock. So I bring the chest into a fissure that already has a rock. Then I can bring a rock into the chest to create a ledge. But it's still not enough, right? Because if I have the ledge, I still only have 2 blocks here, so I still need 1 more block, but now I don't have access to the chest. And without access to the chest, I don't think I can make the other block. Oh, but what if I use these 2 blocks as a stepping stone to get back up and move this block? Oh, I can't move this block. I was going to say move this block up to the top, but I'd have to go through the chest to bring the block up top. I can't bring the chest forward into the fissure because I'm going to be popping out with the jar. Rats. This is not going well. Not at all. Alright, is there even a way for me to escape at this point? Because I don't even have a good sense of that now. So I can escape with nothing. And that just brings me back to where I started. So the question is, how do you escape with something? I can escape with a fissure, a jar. But having this jar doesn't give me access to anything, because I need to use all of my resources just to jump out of here. So I need to jump into the jar with a rock. That's what I need to do. I need to jump into the jar with a rock while the enchanted block is up here. Jump into the jar with the rock while the enchanted block is up there. I can put the enchanted block up there, so I need to jump into the jar with the rock. Is that possible? Jump into the jar with the rock. But not the enchanted one. So the question is, can I get a rock? And if there's any way to do it, it involves bringing a jar into a jar. So jar into the jar. I'm going to jump into the jar with a rock while the enchanted block is on top. That's the problem. I didn't put the enchanted block on top. But if the enchanted block had been on top, then maybe great things would be happening. I don't know. Yeah, it still wouldn't have enough, right? All I could do here is climb out. And now somehow I've gotten stuck, and I'm lost at where I am. Oh boy. I think I need to go off camera for a bit. Okay, I played a bit more off camera and didn't make much progress, and I realized what I really need to do is step back and think about how I think this puzzle series is going to go on the channel. So, someone I watch, Alex Diener, plays a number of puzzle games, and often when he gets stuck in a puzzle game, he talks about kind of a bag of tricks that you can use for getting unstuck. And there's a lot of things in that bag of tricks, including kind of like enumerating all of your assumptions, enumerating all of the options, which is one of the things I was doing previously. Like, I tried putting a chest in a jar. What if I try putting a jar in a chest, and trying kind of like every combination like that. There's making observations, such as... I just realized I didn't have focus on the window. Such as looking at aspects of the puzzle. If you make the assumption that every aspect of the puzzle is intentional and there's a reason for different things, which isn't always the case because puzzles could have a red herring. But for example, I made the observation that the key is enchanted, and why is the key enchanted? And that's what gave me, I think, the insight that I was going to use the physics to move it up to a different platform and then exit the room. Because that's kind of like a reason for the key to be enchanted. And so I think I haven't still put a pen to paper to try to come up with a way to diagram different elements, especially fissures. Like, conceptually, I know how they behave and what's going to happen when you hop into a jar and come back out of a jar. But despite knowing the mechanics of that, I don't have it deeply internalized so that I can reason about it well in the context of a larger puzzle, and I think being able to draw a diagram of what's happening would help me, but I don't know how to draw the diagram because I haven't put a pen to paper and tried to imagine drawing a diagram. Something I did do near the end of the previous playthrough of Recursed, with just the base game, is I did kind of write down all the elements. And I'm just going to read them off. They're sitting on the notepad over there. Chest, cauldron, jar. We haven't seen cauldrons yet. Chests basically create a new instance of a room that you can go into. Jars are created by fissures, which bind up the current state of the room and put it in a jar that you can then enter and, if possible, I can't do it right here, exit, and when you exit the jar breaks, so it's basically a one-time re-entry into a specific set of state. And then cauldrons allow you to hop between, kind of like sideways between multiple stack frames. And you end up with, we have like a blue background on the wallpaper here, and there'd be like a green background and a red background, and we could hop through different cauldrons to get into different stacks, sideways stack frames. There are objects like a rock. There's objects like a key. There is the duplication orb, the oobleck, that we encountered in a previous puzzle, as well as doors, such as the door, oops, that's right here, and I just accidentally jumped into a thing. I'm calling the door an object. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. There's acid and water. We saw acid in the previous puzzle. And so water basically has a few different mechanical effects. One is it basically gives you infinite jumps, which is you can swim in the water. So if this were flooded, I could jump up to the top right because I could just swim up there. Another is that there's certain bits that float in the water. So there's pieces of the puzzle that when you re-enter the room when it's flooded might be in a different location. And finally with the acid burns off enchantments. And the water basically allows you to flood other chests full of water. Then there's fissures, which we already talked about in terms of binding up the state into a jar. There is fire. The red fire here is basically just the exit of a door, and the green fire down here is the exit out of this room that creates a fissure of the bound up state of the room into a jar. And then there is the persistence enchantment, which basically makes it so that objects are always associated with a particular room ID in the universe, rather than being instants like the block over there on the right that will disappear out of existence when I pop out of the stack frame, but persist if I jump into a deeper stack frame. And finally, there is platforming and floatiness. And so there's obviously a bunch of platforming going into this one, because in order to, for example, even be able to reach the rock, I have a character who can jump and who has a limited jump height, and whose jump height is even more limited when he is carrying an object, which makes him heavier. And so it's kind of like each room's individual geometry contributes to the platforming aspect, which is also hard to diagram on paper without seeing the entire room. I think that's all the things I enumerated on the sheet of paper at the end of the last thing. But yeah, so I think moving forward, a good way for me to do this, like if I have the expectation that there might be 20 puzzles and there might be 20 hours of gameplay, and so each puzzle might take over an hour, I need a way to turn it into good video content, and so I think I need to spend more time doing meta-analysis and talking through how to puzzle and how to get unstuck and how to come up with new techniques, because I think I'm going to need new techniques to get through this. And then finally, something that someone suggested to me already is if you get stuck, move on, and SAC is apparently potentially a very difficult puzzle, and so maybe next time I'll take a look at Deficient when we get started. But these are just various puzzle thoughts. I wanted to end with that because I didn't make satisfying progress on this puzzle today, but I think I do have a way to make hopefully satisfying progress on future videos, even if future puzzles don't have a lot of progress going on in them. So that's what I'm thinking about. I hope as always that you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you again soon for more Recursed. For now, bye-bye.